Welcome. Thank you all for coming out on this cold, chilly night to learn about success principle number 3. So as some of you didn't know until tonight, I studied with Jack Canfield. It started about a decade ago. Did his One Day to Greatness, or it's now called One Day to Greatness, in Dallas, at a turning point in my life where I had just left my second husband, knew I needed to do something different in my life, and literally had just a few months before roamed around Barnes & Noble and said, God, I need something. I need to change my life. And the first edition of this book was staring me in the face. I went, okay, I got it. I knew how to read messages. So I bought this book. And then I just kept going. And I've done a lot of trainings with Jack, trained the trainer, Breakthrough to Success a couple of times. I've assisted. And I'm now a certified Canfield trainer. And to help people go through these different principles. I live by these principles. I live and breathe these. I wouldn't be standing here in Colorado today without having worked these principles. And so I think the first one is one to take responsibility. And I think all of us, own our stuff, at least most of the time. But I thought this one would be fun because I've been thinking about doing a Come As You Will Be party for about 6 months now and just couldn't figure out right time, right place. And so wait a minute, we've got to, if I have people over to do this Come As You Will Be party, what are they going to know about, how to show up for it? So we're going to look at deciding what you want tonight. And the emphasis is on you, okay? So, you have handouts, and we're going to go through it. Now, you're going to notice that it's like 12 pages. We're not going to get all through 12 pages, but we're going to highlight big points, and then you're going to have some homework to do so that you can show up at the party, if you so choose, where we will be in role of where we want to be in 2025. So we're going to actually, for 2 hours, live as if we were 5 years down the road. It's a blast. It's so much fun. We get to dress up, we get to bring props, but more on that later. So, a lot of us set goals, and I know I've set goals that aren't really in alignment with what we want. We kind of buy into suggestions that other people give us. We buy into a story that other people want us to live, because then that makes their world perfect, right? Because then they've got control over who we are and what we do. That doesn't really make anybody happy, and we often do that because we do want their love and approval. But eventually it fizzles out. And I know that very well. So, one of the ways that we can ask her, there's 2 questions we can ask ourselves to find out if the goal we want to set is really ours. So I have another mentor that I've worked with for a number of years. I do believe in working with mentors a lot. And can I do this with heart? And is this mine to do? And if we listen to our bodies, and that's why being physical is really important, because then we can read, like whether we get that knot in the stomach or get excited if something feels really good. When I decided to do this workshop tonight, it just felt right, and everything fell into place. And that's also another way to find out if something is right, just seamlessly. Not that there aren't obstacles that will show up. I know that happens. But for the most part, when we're in alignment, things just start falling into place. My move here was one of those. So we'll go through, what I do in a typical classroom is we'll go through the handouts so we can kind of highlight so you know where you're going, and then we'll back up and do one of the exercises. So there's one question, and what do you want to do, be, or have? And so in a few moments, I'll give you some time to kind of brainstorm what you want. Now, do we all have pens? Pencils? If not, thank you. There are some here. And if you need something to write on, we also have this. Oh, good idea. Yeah, thanks. We need more pens.
I have one. Thank you.
I walk around with pens in my hand all the time. So anyway, sorry about that. So we're going to have a chance to go through. So think about those things that what you want to do, be, or have. Do, be, or have. And for me, I want to be geographically mobile, and it is happening. Then the next thing is we're going to brainstorm my ideal life. What would my ideal life look like? That's on page 2. When my life is ideal, I am, for me, traveling to San Diego once a month at least to see my grandkids. Okay. The other thing to think about is that anything is possible. So we're going to look at 7 different areas of our life. When we get right down to writing down all of our goals. So we have work and career, and if you're retired, you can think about that in terms of retirement. What do I want to do with my time? Because a lot of people, when you do retire, it's not really retirement. It's like, okay, next phase. What am I going to do with myself now, other than sit around, watch TV, and, eat cookies, whatever, right? We're also going to look at our finances, and our recreation and free time, our health and fitness, our relationships, our personal goals, and your community. And there will be questions on this that we'll look at. And for one, work and career. How do you want to spend your days? What talents do you want to use? What income do you want to earn? And then, again, if you're retired, what do you want to do so you're not sitting around being bored all the time? Finances. The Beatles might have said you can't buy, money can't buy you love, but it sure makes life a lot easier when you have the money you want and need and want to do the things you want to do. So we're going to look at how much money you want to earn in a month, a week, a year, a month, a day, whatever. And then what do you want to use that money for? Do you want to buy a house? Do you want to travel? Do you want to buy new clothes? Do you want to buy new equipment for your favorite hobby? Recreation and free time. How do you want to spend your time? Do you want to go to yoga class every day? Do you want to take vacations? Do you want to get a hike in? That kind of thing. How much do you do? For me, it's fly fishing, hiking, and yoga. Those are my 3. I do those, I'm happy. And then vacations. What vacations do you want to make? It doesn't happen until you name it. Health and fitness. Gail mentioned earlier she wants to continue on her health and fitness goals. That's important to her. It's also important to me. And I know some of us also have talked about that. It's like, what's going to make that happen? To get to that optimal level of health that we want for our own good. And then relationships. I think any relationship needs to have intention, whether it's friends, partners, grandchildren. We have to have an intention of how we want to show up for those people. Then we also have to look at, perhaps there's people in our lives that we really don't want to hang out with too much. And sometimes if they're family members, we have to limit those times. So there's a little exercise in this part where you're going to write down the people you hang out with, put a plus or minus next to their name. Plus means they give you energy, minus means they don't. And then plus and minus means they're on the fence. You haven't quite kicked them off the island yet, but it's a question. And I can tell you in my life, I can say there's no negative people in my life right now. There have been times when some have slipped over to positive and negative, and I've had to probably, in most cases, work on myself to accept them as they are, and then it works. It's amazing. And then there are some people who just get kicked to the curb. And then we have personal goals. Those are things like, do you want to meditate more? Do you want to learn a new hobby? Like Mary said, she's venturing off into guitar playing, right? And painting a few years ago. So it's like, what do you want to do? Right? I carry my knitting needles around thinking that I'm going to knit every time I go away. It doesn't happen. So I've realized it sounds good, but it's really not top of my list, because if it was, I'd be sitting around doing it. Community. Where do you want to live? Little wanderers in here. Where do I want to go? What mountain's next? You know, most of you know I came here about a year and a half ago after 2 years of going, I don't belong up there. But the mountains called me and here I am. And it's been a really meaningful experience. Look at all the wonderful people I've met. So those are the things, and then how are you going to get personal goals, and then your community. In the community is like how you're going to give back to your community, right? And for me, I got involved in Project Healing, which is fly fishing, even before I moved here. As soon as I found they were here, I signed up as a volunteer probably a month before I arrived. And I've been active ever since. So those are concerns, or those are the 7 areas we're going to look at. But I want to bring this out here, the naysayer. That little voice in your head that says, you can't. You can't be a writer. So I had, my biggest naysayer as a writer is my high school guidance counselor. He told me flat out, it was a counseling session, an advising session right before I went into high school. And he said, what do you want to be when you grow up? You know, you use those words. And I said, I want to be a writer and I'm interested in the theater. He's this big man, you know, balding head, little wire frame glasses. He took his glasses off, put them on my file, leaned back in his chair and said, you'll never be a writer. Never even addressed the theater part. My mother's sitting right next to me, never said a thing. Never said a thing. She just took his word for it. I'd never be a writer. And I believed that for a while. But luckily my soul said, no way, you're going to write. And then I did go on and have some professors, after I changed my major, and had some professors who did acknowledge that I'm a good writer, so that helped. But if you can name it, you can slay it. Because this right here will be what prevents you from reaching your goals. It's mindset, it's overcoming limiting beliefs, and telling those people who said, no, you can't, shut up and go back to your own mountain, right? Or, you know, your own cave. So, with that, any questions before I go too far? As I said, you're not going to go through all of this tonight. We'll pick one area of this to work on. And then everybody doesn't have to work on the same thing, because we all have different goals, and there are things that are in the forefront for us right now. So what I'd like you to do, just take a couple of minutes and let's go back to the what do you want to do, be, and have on the first page. And just jot down whatever comes to you first.
And is that in one of those categories, or could this part
This
be all of it?
This could be all of the categories, yeah. And no self-editing, please. I was picking up my dog's mess, and I look up, and there's this guy standing over me with a fruit basket. He said, we should go out. It was like that. It was like instantaneous, but it was another reminder that when we want to figure out where we want to go, we need to know where we are now, which is what we did prior to the official start. We figured out what we're into, what we hope to do, but where do we want to go, and be really specific. If you say you want a new car, you might not get that, fancy Mercedes all-wheel drive hybrid, right?
I didn't.
You might get,
I didn't. You
do you have her? Or you might get, the old Toyota Camry that needs, a little spit and shine to it, right? So that's where we're going next. We're gonna pick an area. So you have all of these areas here, and remember, anything is possible. Anything is possible. The only reason we can't get what we want is when we put brakes on, because Mr. Bowman's still sitting on my head, my shoulder, whispering in my ear, saying, "You'll never be a writer." And anytime I have a big project, he rises from the ethers or wherever he's at. I think he might be past, but anyway. And I have to consciously go, "That's nonsense." Right? That's nonsense. So only you know what that naysayer is and how it comes up. But my invitation for you is to bring out, no holds barred, right? Just go for it. Create your vision of what you want, because it's you. So pick one of these areas, find that area on the worksheet, and then take a couple minutes to just get it going, start it up, and then we'll have a little sharing. You can probably get a hint from that last list you just made too, of what you want to work on. Yeah, we hope. I did live a life at one point where I was very, I call it segmented. I would be able to go and do my life outside my family, and then come home and be somebody else. It's kind of difficult. It is not kind of difficult. It is difficult. I saw a woman today at the keynote speaker for Pikes Peak's Professional Development Day, and she said, we have our bandwidth. And when we're distracted by other parts of our life, it doesn't all come together. We've got, worried about our kids, worried about money, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, so the more we can get really clear on these, the more focus we'll have. Because we could go, that's not mine to do, right? A person, maybe I don't need to see them quite so much, right? That kind of thing. So anyway, I think you take a minute each, and just very quickly, laser focus, share just pick a partner, share with each other which area you chose and what you are hoping to, or what you were planning, excuse my language there, what you were planning to achieve in that area.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's
So I chose finances.
all right. We do first.
I'm 65.
Okay. What was that like? Any surprises?
Emotional. That's what it is.
Yeah, Gabby just said it's emotional. What made it emotional?
Life.
Life, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Yeah. Life and death, I guess.
Yeah. Anybody else?
I've been so busy working, traveling. It was interesting to sit down and think, what do I want next? So I never thought of it, believe it or not. It's just too busy, right? And what is important to me, right? You said, when you were retired, what do you want to do with your time? Never thought of it. It's like, I had time to think about it, but yeah, it's interesting.
But most of us live a life like that, and so that's like kind of being in a boat without a rudder, and so the waves of life, just, meeting other people and situations that come along, just kind of knock us, and we end up, who knows where, right? South China Sea without, thinking we're going to, Mediterranean. So, and so that's why it is important to take time and just reflect. And this isn't done in a few minutes, it's done over a period of time. I have been thinking about my goals, my vision, my 2020 vision actually just kind of downloaded the day after I came back from my Thanksgiving trip to San Diego. It was just like I was making coffee and suddenly it was like, boom, and I'll show that to you in a minute. But since then I've been going, okay, how do I do this? Where is it leading me? So, but one of the biggest, we talked about the naysayer, as we're creating our goals, know your why. Why are you doing this? Again, are you doing it to make somebody else happy? Are you doing it because it's a good idea and everybody else is making money at it? Should I go into bitcoins? I'm sorry if anybody's going into bitcoins, but I'm going to get on that bandwagon. If it isn't the right fit, it's not going to work, right? For you. I truly believe, and I've talked a couple, Molly and I talked today, and a couple of weeks ago, a week ago, a client who was kind of discouraged with her book launched a year ago or so, and she was kind of discouraged that she wasn't getting more traction, wasn't getting more sales. And then she put out her New Year's Day newsletter. And I get a text from her the next morning. She did it like on New Year's Eve, and she posted it. On New Year's Day, I get a text from her. Oh my God, I just got the most wonderful email from this person. And she told me, this person's, your words made a difference in my life. You gave me hope. 2 days later, she got a phone call because of that same newsletter. Saying, I needed to hear that right now. So I truly believe if we're in alignment with our purpose and our goals, because our goals need to align with our purpose or we're just going to be, we'll have some success, but we probably won't have the success that we could have when we're really feeling our joy and our passion doing what we love to do. So it's important to know that we are important. Our goals are important. Whatever we share with the world, Mary, is important. Because we have a unique perspective. And even if we don't know whose lives we touch when we put a blog out there. We don't really know unless they reach out. But a lot of times there's an effect that has a ripple effect, right? So it is important to know your why, and I want you to think about your why. Here's my why. This is my why. One, I want my health. One of my goals for the year is really to up-level my health and vitality. I'm in the second day of a cleanse, actually, and
That's no wine.
that's no why. Everybody suffers. But I want to live as long as I possibly can. To see them be the amazing people they are and see their impact on the world. Because this group of 4 children are phenomenal. I'm not saying that just because they're my grandchildren. They blow me up. I'm like, whoa, my gosh, look, they're just mind-blowing ideas that come out of their mouths, and it's like incredible. I just want to see them a lot. And I want to show them that if you're determined, you're persistent, you know what you want, you can do it. So this is my why. And so I have this on a notebook that I'm using for a course I'm taking to expand my business. And that, I leave it on a shelf so I see it, so it makes me go back to that, right? It matters. So know your why. On the last page, or on page 11, it's not the last page, I talk about different ways to clarify your vision. In Success Principles, there's a vision exercise. I'll go ahead and record that and upload it. What I can do is create a Facebook group for us, just a closed group, and I can put that there. And I highly just remember, is this mine to do? Can I do this with heart? Write those 2 questions on a Post-it and like put it on your coffee pot, on your bathroom mirror, in your car, wherever you're gonna see it. And let that be your guiding light as you're making choices, even simple choices, like if someone asks, what do you wanna watch? You know, what movie do you wanna watch, or where do you wanna eat? It's important for you to make a choice where you wanna go, without worrying about, well, is that gonna make, oh, they don't really like going there. I know we've gone there so many times, but I really wanna go back there tonight. Make that choice. If it's really what you wanna do, claim it. Put your stake in the ground and say, this is what I wanna do. Find an accountability partner. I have an accountability partner that has been in my life since the one day, or it was called this, I forget what it was. Anyway, it's One Day to Greatness back in 2010. And we have been calling each other. We used to call each other every week, now we got every 2 weeks. And we share our goals with each other and hold each other accountable. And we often say, hey, you've been down this road before, what are you going to do differently? And it's really helpful. It's nice to have somebody in your court that is studying the same thing and will help you move forward. Join a mastermind group to brainstorm and the ways to reach your goals and even refine them. And what you want to do is you want to choose people who are going to hold the bar high enough, not just your friends who will go, okay, whatever you want to do, right? Find somebody who's really going to hold your feet to the fire and say, hey, this is what you could be doing. Somebody who may have already be a step or two ahead of you. And then, of course, remember your why. Know your why. Remind yourself of that every day.
How specific does your why need to be? Like, what comes to mind for me is freedom. I just want freedom. Is that enough of a why?
Yeah.
It's not too vague. That's because I can
that's
see
one of
where
our top
looking at a
values.
picture of kids, I go, oh, I get it. Freedom is a little.
Well, for me, that's implied in that. When I have my why, that's like, because that's one of my values, freedom. That's my top
Right,
value.
it is mine too.
Hence
I don't know
waters.
if it's too broad.
Does it feel right to you?
Yeah, I hesitate only because it's broad.
Well,
Could I
yeah.
ask a question? When you say that, Molly, I wondered, what does that look like to you when you say freedom? Does that mean freedom to travel or freedom to?
Yes, all of it. So it's having the time and resources to be spontaneous. When something fun comes up, or work calls, but it's going to require taking a class, and I can look and see, oh, it's just $5,000. Okay, I'm in. That's
Yeah.
freedom, not just travel.
Right. So I think, in fact, this is kind of an interesting, I never thought about this. Find that value that's the most important to you, like freedom, or that why. And then ask with each of the questions on those 7, how will this move me toward my why? How is this aligned? How will this keep me in alignment with my why? I think I get that.
And that's what I was thinking, like health and personal finance and all your goals, all of that gives you freedom.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Okay, good question. All right, one more. So, when I was putting the workshop, the handouts together, I'm like, I could do a whole week on this. And at least a whole weekend. So, I know that we're kind of truncating it because I promised an hour and we've been an hour and a half. So we can do a follow-up and just come hang out here next Monday for a couple hours and give you time to go through the rest of these questions. And then, this is the big day. The Come As You will be in 2025. I have 2 suggestions that fit my schedule. February 2nd would be my ideal, but that's Super Bowl Sunday. And that might not fit with those of you who have men in your life who like to or if you like football, I was being sexist there, sorry, Mike. Or Sunday, February 16th. Or I'm open to other suggestions, we just have, I know I have, Meryl's going away, Molly's got a couple workshops. Is that weekend? Oh, okay.
I learned don't do it on Super Bowl weekend.
Oh, yeah. So those are things that we can think about, we can talk about with your team. Any questions?
What is a mastermind?
A mastermind is a group of usually 6 people who get together for the purpose of supporting each other in their goals. Like, or even if a difficulty comes up, like, hey guys, have this situation that came up, like,
Where do you find one? Where do you make it up?
you make it.
Find it, okay.
Yeah, you can,
There's probably a Facebook group out there.
Oh.
I don't know.
yeah, you can put
Put
like,
together a group of women, like
yeah,
3 or 4,
Oh.
4 or 5.
like 6 is ideal.
Is it?
Yeah, 6 is ideal. And that's something we can discuss too.
Okay.
I know that Meryl said, do you want to one more? No, I don't know.
I can't, I'll be in Belize next Monday, I'm really sorry.
I know, Meryl's not gonna stop here, but it's fine, I won't be, Mondays won't work for me.
Very
so-
sorry for you too, going to Belize. Me in the jungle.
Yeah, she'll be in the jungle, so, but,
She'll
she'll get the follow-up practice.
Yes!
Yeah.
I leave Sunday.
You leave Sunday.
This Sunday, okay. That's why I won't be here Monday.
All right, well, we can continue the conversation over tea and cookies. I do have a bottle of wine if you want to.
This was good, thank you for.
Oh, yes. Very good. All right, thank you for